I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk is planning on landing Starship on Mars by 2022.
I need to.
Yeah, 2022.
Let me ask you. So, is that company? Is that the?
That'll be an unmanned.
Is that
flight.
the Boring company, or is that what is that?
That's SpaceX.
SpaceX. Okay, so SpaceX. Apologies. Is SpaceX? And I've not done any investing. Is that something that people can invest in? I wonder.
Yeah, absolutely. It's public.
It's public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's very profitable. So here's an example of the power of SpaceX. So the Starship, the newest ship that they just tested recently.
Now, why'd they come up with the name Starship? You don't think it has anything to do with?
Well, Elon's pretty funny.
I feel like that's. Yeah, I feel like there was some. Like paying homage.
Well, if you look at the Tesla, the Model, what is the Model S or whatever, the fast sedan, it's got that ludicrous mode or something. It's like it asks you if do you want to go into this mode or call your mommy? So he's got a good sense of humor.
He does.
But anyway, the Starship, they tested it a couple weeks ago. It did a great job until it landed. It didn't land right. It just exploded. But it was a great test, and they knew the problem. It was kind of a problem with one of the tanks. But so they'll have it fixed. I'm confident the next test will probably be perfect. And but anyway, the Starship can carry 100 tons of cargo.
You just solved it for me. I'm going to buy a Tesla today.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to. Do I have time? I got to go to Vegas, but I don't know if I got time, but we'll figure it out. I think I need one.
I think so.
But go ahead, sorry. I just had that thought pop in my head. I'm like, I need a Tesla.
I think you'd like it. So the SpaceX Starship can transport as much as 100 tons of cargo into orbit, and they want to start using the Starship to do
100 tons.
Yeah. So, but so the vehicles now, or the space transport vehicles that we're using today, can only transport. I think we're only doing like 500 tons a year.
So they can do 200. Is that? That's 200,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So
no, it's 2 million pounds, isn't it? 100 tons is a ton is 2,000 pounds. So 2,000 times 100. No, it's 200,000. Yeah, 200,000. That's right.
That's still substantial.
I'm great at math.
Yes, yeah, me too. Well, I had a moment there. This is the problem with technology is I'm an intelligent guy, especially because of math, but I was like, I think that's 200,000 pounds, but let me check. Yeah, now I'm starting to doubt myself. Like, oh, well, let me see what Google says.
So 200,000 pounds per flight. Now we're only transporting.
So what that also means is 500,000 people, probably, approximately.
Well,
I mean, they got to worry about air and oxygen. They may not have all those things, but I'm just thinking. I'm forward thinking. Like,
I'm not sure how many people they can fit on a flight, but it's
Could you have? Maybe they come up with a Starship. Maybe that's coming up too, where you're gonna have ones that house 100,000 people or 200,000.
Well, you can't stack them in there, but
true. 1,000 people.
How many people can we cram into this thing?
You're talking about like 100, right? Am I mistaken?
The bottom group of people just get smashed when it takes off.
Just pressure and the weight.
Did you guys hear this sort of going with it, but not as exciting as like the Starship, but how they're starting to construct vehicles that can clean up space?
Yes.
Because we got like shit tons of metal
lot of
and debris out there.
Really?
Tons. And so they're starting to, SpaceX is going to get into it too. I bet they have a vehicle, but I haven't seen anything from that. There's another company, and this is terrible. I think it was a French company, but don't hold me to that. But it looked like this big cone with a mouth that would just open and just grab stuff as it swallowed.
I want to see the visual of this.
It's right here.
And you know what we need to do? We need to overlay some music, like some old 80s porn music, like.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not a good one. Where's the...
Yeah, but it reminded me of, there's a 007 movie called You Only Die Twice or something like that. And the whole thing was about I think it was Spectre or whatever, but they had this ship that could swallow like the space shuttle. And so they were grabbing space shuttles out of orbit and stuff. And it looked a lot like that thing, which is really weird.
That's hilarious. That's where they got the idea.
Good. This is NASA. Hang on. Let me move this.
forget you guys can AirPlay. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you you at Apple? You got an iPhone over there, Jesse?
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. Never going back.
Yeah, me neither, man. I can't. Every time I try to use a phone or a friend's got like an Android, I'm like, what is this? It's irritating.
Did you get when the Droid first came out? Did you get one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Check that out.
Yeah.
That's NASA's space debris map.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It actually looks worse than that.
This sounds dumb, but how the fuck did it get there?
It's just from like satellites, old satellites breaking up or just floating around. A lot of things like when they did older space missions, they'd drop off tanks and stuff. And then there's other things that have smashed together and exploded into thousands of parts. There's just tons of debris. And it's all going, tens of thousands of miles an hour around the planet.
So it can puncture spaceships and stuff.
Yeah, like a bolt can just go right through a piece of, like a spacecraft. So, but they map it all so they can just fly right through it.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting. But there's a concern about it becoming too big of an issue to allow us to escape the planet. So it could actually trap us in the planet, which is a problem.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. So hopefully they're
Come on, Elon.
going to
The
figure
fuck,
that
man?
out. So yeah, that's
Dude, I didn't know that. Neil, I'm glad you prepared for today, man. I'm glad. I need a little more caffeine. I'm learning too much. I need to retain this.
so where was I at on this? Okay, yeah. So with
Oh, you were going to show me a picture of this thing swallowing space junk. Were you going to do that?
I think it's just a drunk concept right now.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I'm not sure.
Okay, so but anyway, the Starship, so it can transport up to 100 tons into orbit. But what they want to do with the Starship, they want to use it for travels to Mars because it's such a large spacecraft, and it's also designed for that. But it's also designed to do what do they call? It's like Earth orbital transportation. So they can travel incredible distances around the planet in just a few minutes, like 45 minutes, like halfway around the world. So and transport up to 100 tons of cargo. So they're going to start doing these Earth orbital missions. And they'll just do those constantly, and they believe that they can build around 1,000 starships and do or not build 1,000 starships, but build like a fleet of starships and do 1,000 trips a year or something.
wow.
So they can start transporting. That would be 1 million tons of cargo a year, and right now we're doing
1,000 trips at 200,000 at 200,000 pounds a trip.
Is that 2 million?
200,000 at a how many trips? 1,000 trips?
Yeah, 1,000 trips.
No, it'd be 200 million, right?
200 million.
Pounds, yeah.
Okay. So it'd be 2 million tons, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so that's
It's a lot.
we're killing
Right
we're
now-
killing it today with the math.
Right now we're only doing 500 tons a year in orbital transport.
Well,
So
I just want to let everybody know it's the last day of 2020.
and this is just SpaceX. There's other companies, like Amazon and
Oh yeah.
and what's the other one?
I forget that it's like Space Blue, but something else. I forget
Yeah,
what it's called.
blue something.
Yeah.
Blue something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what's his name's company? The Virgin Sir something.
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson.
Branson's
Yeah.
company, yeah.
Yeah, so and there'll be more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Once they get all the stuff worked out, the compounded amount of businesses that could be started revolving around this is just astronomical. Not to really meaning to go for a pun, but I mean it's just like you've got the fleet of ships, but then you need maintenance, you need people to man them, you need people to be able to take them apart and put them back together. Plus, whatever kind of machinery. It seems like the Starship they're going to be vehicles that have multifunction. The Starship is, of course, great for cargo, but also great for human cargo
right.
and stuff. Yeah.
Well, they also plan on the Starship. Musk said the Starship will be able to take 3 flights a day, so it can land and relaunch in the same day up to 3 times. And he believes he can get the cost down to $2 million per flight.
Really?
Which is, I mean, really cheap for that type of technology.
What I want to figure out is when they're going to have handheld, like you put it in your pocket, because the spaceship is coming apart, and I need to be able to put a device on my face. And
yeah.
Safety.
And if you guys want to read this article, it's in TechCrunch.com. It's by Dale Irvington on November 7th, 2019. So it's actually a year old. It's older than I thought it was. So this is there's probably a newer article about this stuff that would give us a better idea of a timeline. But I know that the Starship's already been, they've already built some early versions of it and tested them. So this will be soon.